Today we're gonna talk about some of the items that you should farm before you hit level 60. The crucial items that you're gonna get a lot of value from at level 60 and well before that, and you are gonna see a pattern. A lot of these items are hit items. And that's for a simple reason. You gotta get that hit cap. That's the hardest and most important thing of getting your gear as a warrior. And hit gear, if you can get it, it is the best thing for leveling too. So obviously you gotta go for it. We are gonna start with a very simple quest. You can do it as early as level 46. People do not really appreciate it. 46 is that early. You gotta kill a bunch of level 48 mobs. It is not that hard. It is in the hinterlands, and yes, this is horde only. In the little town in the hinterlands, there is a little wanted poster that you can talk to, and you get this quest, the job opening, the guard captain of the Revantosk village, and you gotta kill a quadrillion mobs. That's basically it. It will take you a good hour to do this quest. I will not gonna lie to you, that's a lot of mobs you gotta kill, and you need a group for it. You definitely need a party for it. You are gonna get this trinket, the Rune of the guard captain. 1% hit, 20 attack power, and it's a trinket. Trinkets are the hardest part to get early on. There is not a lot of trinket options in vanilla, and 1% hit is super freaking huge, especially early on. Level 46, 1% hit for free. This trinket is gonna last you pretty much the entirety of your race until you get to Molten Core. It is kinda hiding in plain sight. A lot of people do not actually go do it because they do not know about it until they hit level 60, and not realizing that they could have leveled with 1% more hit the entire time. So yeah, another reason that the horde is superior, I guess. Now let's talk about another big item, and that one is going to be the Thrash blade. Now this is a sword, a one-handed sword, and that might be weird to you. Why would you level with a one-hander? Well, it is not really for leveling. This is a very unique sword. It has a proc to give you an extra attack on your next swing, like the floor reacts. It is a Wind Fury proc basically on the weapon. But take a deeper look to it. It does 35 DPS. It does the exact same DPS than the Whirlwind Axe. And you do not get a reasonable upgrade from the Whirlwind Axe. I mean, you can get the Ravager. It is essentially the same axe. You do not really get a significant upgrade from this axe until level 55 when you do the Dreadforce Retaliator. That's from BRD. That's the next best two-hander you can get. So the Thrash blade does the same damage, and it is a one-hander. And on top of that, it has Wind Fury on it, for the love of God. This is when a lot of people actually transition into dual wield just because they cannot find a better upgrade. Now this quest is available to both factions. If you are a horde, you get it on your little town in Desolus, that's where you get it. If you are Alliance, you get it in your town in Desolus. And all you gotta do is go to Marodon, kill Princess, and go back. And you got an amazing one-hander that is way better than almost anything you can get at this level. This is when the Fury Dream actually takes on. That's not it though, that's not it. Why is this weapon so important? The Thrash blade is not only an amazing weapon for leveling, it is also an insane weapon for dual wielding at level 60. Why? Because as an off-hander, the Wind Fury proc it has, it is extra rage generation, okay? The damage that your off-hander does, it barely matters. It is not a lot of damage it's gonna do at all. We made an entire video on it. We're talking like a 14% DPS increase when you get a dual wield. But an off-hander is 62% extra rage though. So your rage generation is way bigger with an off-hander, and this off-hander with the extra Wind Fury proc, it is by far the best off-hander for generating rage at level 60 early on. The other competitor is the Floor Reacts, you know, it's a BOE epic, very famous too. So please do not get baited. There is a staff here. There is a staff here that does 45 DPS, and a lot of people are gonna get baited into going, oh, this does a lot of damage, it's great for leveling, it has HP regen on it. Don't, please don't. There is a very high chance, no matter your race, no matter your spec, that the Thrash blade is gonna be a weapon that you can use at level 60. And hey, if you wanna level as dual wield Fury, I would say level 45 with the Thrash blade is probably when you wanna do it. Now, since you are gonna kill Princess for this quest at level 45 anyway, you might as well get a head start on your Blackstone ring. The Blackstone ring is a best in slot ring that is gonna last you all the way through Molten Core almost. It has 1% hit and 20 attack power on it. It is a pretty common drop from Princess, a 25% chance, so all you gotta do is clear Marodon a bunch of times until you get it, and this ring is legitimately better than any other ring in the game until you go into a raid, or the PvP ones, but the PvP XP rewards are not in the game yet, obviously. So you should definitely start farming it as soon as you can, and you should definitely have it at level 49 because 1% hit for leveling is also freaking insane. That is gonna help you a lot. Now here is when we start talking about higher level quest. This is a level 55 quest and you can very well do it at level 55. By the way, it's super easy. You gotta do LBRS. Now this quest, Warlord's Command, is a quest you pick up in Orgrimmar. It is basically your Onyxia attunement. If you are Alliance, you gotta talk to a goblin in LBRS basically, and it's the same quest. It's like a little chain of quests, but it all boils down into your Onyxia attunement. You are gonna get this by doing your Onyxia attunement, and you should definitely start it as early as possible because it is a pain in the butt for both factions. And the quest is gonna give you two reasonable options. You can take this plate belt, 1% crit, 15 strength, very good belt, and that is very tempting. Very tempting to take. But remember guys, Dire Maul is not out yet. There is not a lot of hit gear in the game yet. So I implore you, because everybody gets baited here, everybody's gonna get baited, you should instead get these gloves. 9 agility, 2% hit. 2% hit. When wouldn't you use these gloves? Well, if you're gonna use Edge Masters, you know, the 8,000 gold item, yeah, that's maybe one of the reasons you wouldn't use these gloves. Or if you get the dagger gloves from Molten Core and you go daggers, that's also one of the reasons. And that's pretty much freaking it. That's it. For everybody else in any situation ever, these 2% gloves are gonna be way more value than this belt. And that's something I got on my best in slot list. A lot of people telling me, why didn't you put the belt in the list, man? What's wrong with that? Well, this is why. I will take the gloves every single time. You can get similar belts, you know, you sacrifice a little bit of crit, you get like one with agility and stamina instead, you know, it's not a big deal. 2% hit is a game changer for anybody. So yes, definitely do your Onyxia attunement, and the best part about the Onyxia attunement is both factions at the very end of the Onyxia attunement, they get this other little trinket in here, Black Hand's Breath, 2% crit. Now this is a baby version, so to speak, of another trinket that you can get that is insane, and that is the Hand of Justice, which is a 2% chance to get a Wind Fury instead of a crit. A Wind Fury is better than a crit, of course, because that Wind Fury can crit, so it will always be more damage on average. But what if you are not Horde? What if you do not have access to the 1% hit trinket from the quest? Well, in that case, you actually gotta go Breath and Hand of Justice, and even if you don't, the Hand of Justice is a pain in the butt to get in Phase 1 or Classic, because apparently it only drops from Anger Forge, and it is a super rare drop now. It doesn't drop from the Emperor in Phase 1. They went for some progressive itemization thing. I do not quite fully understand it, honestly. That's a private server thing, but they are going for it now for some reason. So you are probably not gonna get the Hand of Justice very early on. It is gonna be very lucky if you get it like on the first week, and you can always count on the Black Hand's Breath, so you should definitely do it soon. Also, you're not gonna have a trinket when you level anyway, you might as well get something good now. And the last item in the list, it is yet again even more hit gear. This is the Black Crow. It drops from LBRS, from the Shadow Hunter, the guy that ships you, that annoying guy, or lady, I don't even remember. Well, the lady, you know, the one that turns you into a frog and you run away and you just pull all the mobs and die, that guy. It is a crossbow with 1% hit. It is the best in slot crossbow in the game, and you can farm LBRS, you should farm LBRS as soon as level 55 anyway, so absolutely go for this item as fast as you can. How much is that? How much is that? Like 1% hit here, 1% hit here, 1% hit here, 2% hit here, and that is 5% freaking hit that you can get before you hit level 60. If you get a weapon racial, you need 6, and if you do not have a weapon racial, you need 9. So you are pretty much halfway done by the time you hit 60 if you do all these items, and they are gonna be like the best stat you can get. Hit is gonna defeat any stat in the game, crit, agility, strength, whatever. Hit is always better until you hit the cap. So yes, those are gonna be the items I am gonna be chasing first before anything else. Then I will probably at level 58 or so, I will start doing Ubers. I am not gonna put Ubers items in this list because I think most people should be doing it at level 60, not early on anyway. But this should take you quite a while. And what is the item that you farm before you hit level 60 every time? What is the one item that you actually prepare for ahead of time to go? Subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.